Hello, welcome to the Dimp Digital Podcast. We're on episode number 55, and this time you got myself Apps and Hogsworth, Dave Salmon. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Yes, not too bad, thank you. Now, we had you on earlier this year, and we spent an awful lot of time talking about VR, Oculus, HTC Vive, and PlayStation VR. And afterwards, you kind of were umming and ahhing about whether you was going to put in for an Oculus. And I think you've come to the conclusion you weren't going to bother, didn't you? To start with.
Yeah. I'm not going to. I don't know if I said it, but I did everything on the pre-order page.
Yeah.
And then when it came up, you got to pay 40 quid, was it, or something? For
shipping?
Yeah,
to ship it.
I crossed it out. I said, no, that's enough for me.
Absolutely. And that's £40 ship. That weren't $40. That's 40 sterling.
Like that.
Yeah, that is enough to put you off when you're already shelling out 500 plus for it, which is a bit of a shame. But hopefully we'll get some news on the other two as of late. But let's start with a new release, something that we often don't do on this podcast because none of the lazy bastards go and get anything, apart from yourself and Tom, who seem to buy most things. You've gone out and got Street Fighter 5. So you've gone and got it on PC. And before we get into whether the game is any good or not, how come you chose to opt for the Master Race? Because you've got a PS4 sitting there now.
Yeah.
So the Master Race was chosen. What was the rationale behind that choice?
Well, I actually, like I said to you, I wanted to get it on PS4 because I wanted a reason to play it more.
Just to play just to switch it on?
Pretty much. But I'd read previously that it's exactly the same on both.
Right.
A friend of mine was going to get it on PC, so I thought, well, I might as well get it on there for matchmaking.
Yep.
That ended up being irrelevant because it doesn't matter what you're on, it's all the same.
Yep.
So you can play with anyone.
Yep.
It was the fight stick what done it for me in the end. Not just the price as well. Obviously, it's cheap. I got it for 25 quid.
Yeah.
But I can use my old stick. I've got that Mad Cat. It's a 360 stick.
Yeah.
It works on PC, so I'm able to use that. So I thought, that's got to do it. Cheaper and use the fight stick.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with the PlayStation, Xbox. There's not a lot of third-party compatible stuff for stuff like that. There's probably a handful, but the amount of options you get for PCs, doesn't even compare, does it?
I did read though that you can, if you've got the fight stick on the PS4 free, you can use it on the PS4. So that's what they don't normally do. That I was quite surprised when I read that.
Yeah, no. Normally, the best thing they do is just to sort of cut it off and say you got to buy the newer version, the PS4 version. It's like, well, steering wheels, they're the worst ones.
Yeah, steering wheels, but these you pick up some of these sticks, cost you a lot more than a steering wheel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some of them are 200 plus.
Jesus Christ.
That's a lot of money, isn't it? People are not going to be buying that for their kids.
No, hopefully not, because they'll fucking break it. How much was your one out of interest?
I don't think it was that much. I did get the cheapest of the cheap, but it wasn't the great one. But I think I'm guessing around 70.
Yeah.
I guess a few years back.
And that the cheapest of the cheap will still be better than using a controller or any other alternative.
Yeah, I mean they've said that this new one. I don't know because I've only used the stick so far.
Sure.
I have heard that it's with a PlayStation control. It's quite good.
Right.
Quite playable compared to older ones where you had a big advantage on the stick.
Yeah. So they've tried to even that and probably balance that a little bit, which is good on that particular front. So you're a big fan of Street Fighter.
Yeah.
How does Street Fighter 5 stack up to the previous entries that have come before us?
Gameplay wise, in this one, it's brilliant. I mean, for starters, if you just come around, we had a 1v1 and sat in front of the telly, both in the same room.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I'd say, I know it's early, but I'd say it's the best one yet.
Right.
It's not much different than 4, but it's better.
Refined little tweaks here and there.
That's it. But unfortunately, I don't know if you've seen any reviews, but the content is shocking.
Well, yeah, this is one thing I have seen. I mean, they're saying. So what'd you get? You boot it up. You've got. What'd you get? What can you play? What can someone look forward to? I'm sure you can play it online straight out of the box. That's fine. You
can do ranked and private match.
Yeah.
So that's pretty standard.
Mm-hmm.
You can create a room, right? So say on Mortal Kombat X, you create a room, and then say 5 of your mates could join it.
Okay.
And then you watch. So the other 4 will watch you two fighting.
Yeah.
And then they come in sort of winner stays on type thing.
Yeah.
In this, you can do that, but with only 2 people. So what's the point of that? I cannot understand that.
What? So you two go in a private room and then no one can watch you?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
So you might as well just do your normal private match.
Yeah.
But So, but for now, to be honest, that's fine by me. You've got player and rank match, but on single player, you can't even do arcade mode.
Really?
How bad is that? Yeah, you cannot do that. Absolute standard, isn't it? That should be the one mode that's on there.
What, you can't even just play through, like, against the com, like, work your way through the characters?
No, you can do story, which, I mean, I wouldn't call it a story.
No.
You select the character. It's 3 or 4 fights.
Yeah, and that's it.
And they're not shocking. You get a few, like, cutscenes, and it's in, like, sort of, like, comic style.
Yeah.
Strips type thing.
Right, I see.
With a minor story with some pretty bad voice acting.
Standard.
Nostalgia is quite good. If you know all the characters and stuff, it's quite funny. But effort-wise, it's pretty poor, to be honest.
That's a bit.
Which is a shame because the game is so good.
Yeah, that is disappointing. I've been reading that they're going to add content to this, much like perhaps Splatoon did when that first launched.
Yeah.
That was people saying that was a little bit light. And over the months, they added content to it. I know there's meant to be a fully fledged story mode going into Street Fighter 5. I don't know how good that would be. Yeah. So single player aside, and the room restrictions, is there much else that you'd expect out of this? Is there much content you're thinking that's missing from the last one? I'd expect them to now at this level add any more, or is that they're the two main things?
Well, me and my mate both thought the roster was a bit weak.
Is it 15? Is it?
It's 16.
16. Yeah, that does seem low, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't.
I'm no expert.
Sound too bad.
I'm just chirping up, but I ain't no expert at this. But that sounds low for a fighter.
Well, I'm just putting in 4 now.
Yeah, because that would have ended with, I assume, a lot of.
Yeah, obviously there was a few different versions of stuff. I don't expect there to have been the same amount. I mean, look, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Just what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't even add that up.
Oh, it's a lot though.
There's loads, yeah. There's like 30 odd or something.
Right.
Well, there's well more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a shitload.
Yeah.
On 4. So I just wonder, 4 might have released with 16. I don't know, but I remember getting 4, and I didn't think, of course, a bit light. I just got it for this is great. If they bring out more characters, then brilliant.
Yeah. Do you think the fact that it was kind of preempted already by Capcom, they're saying we're going to be adding stuff later on, that it's put people in that mindset that whatever they was going to give at this time was not going to be enough? You can stir things up like that yourselves.
Yeah. If
you get in that mindset and think, oh, it's not going to be enough, whatever's there.
Well, it's like what we said before with Splatoon. So that was the same, and it wasn't released with enough stuff. But, and I'm sure someone else said it on your podcast.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
No.
I was playing it. I knew it was a bit slim. I knew there was more coming.
Yeah.
But I didn't really care. Whereas with this, I still love it, but I do care. It has annoyed me a little bit.
Yeah.
So although it is the same, for some reason this, I don't know.
It's a bit more established, isn't it? You probably got higher expectations of Street Fighter, having played the last ones, and whereas Splatoon was fresh out the gates, that's true. That's probably going to help you, but with an established franchise, you've got these expectations of what should be there, and if they're not there, you then immediately question it, considering it's meant to be a sequel. Did you find this content debacle a bit of a worrying trend when it comes to games being released days? It is creeping in sometimes in a couple of releases a year. I'm just wondering whether it's going to be something that's going to be a bit more well established in years to come. Firms going to see this as a model, like Hitman, for example. They're doing something quite similar, although it's episodic in a way, but that's going to release light on the ground and improve over the year. Yeah. Is this something? Are you a fan of all this, or are you a bit like, just wait till the game's out? I'd rather have had it in August, full done. Thank you.
Yeah, I would have. It doesn't bother me too much. Well, it didn't until this, because it's Capcom.
Yeah.
It's big. It's not like, if it's
not Mickey Mouse, are they?
Yeah, what's it called? Like a Kickstarter?
No.
Something like that. I can understand it.
No, they've got the money.
Yeah, exactly. This is what it's pissed me off a bit with this.
Yeah.
It's like, it wouldn't happen, but it's like Nintendo or Sony or someone like that.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable then.
No.
But when it's, So no, I'm not a fan, and I think it's a bad thing if the big games are doing it. This is a true story. Just before this was coming out, something popped up on Facebook. It was a CD keys thing, like 25 quid. I thought, oh, definitely, that's a good deal. I sent the link to my mate. Must have been 5 minutes later, I'd seen it saying a lot of content coming in March. I thought, what? So I texted him, I said, look, hold on, just 2 seconds. Let me just find this out. I get a text back, fuck off, I've just bought it already.
It's too late.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, so I just bought it because I felt a bit bad. But yeah, I probably wouldn't. I don't know actually. I might not have been able to resist if I watched a few videos of people playing.
Well, that's the trouble, isn't it? I mean, it's light on fighters, but I mean, the main pull for this for most people, you'd think, is the online competitive, you know, multiplayer, and it's got that.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I've made it sound really bad, but I didn't say it, didn't I, straight away? The gameplay is fantastic.
So you think this plays like top notch? This is like,
oh yeah, really good. It runs really well. It looks really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got to be super smooth. These
days. They have to. It's very important for those. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but the online play's good. There's not been. I've had a couple of very small jutters, but you can get that, and it's new. The actual online launch was shocking.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't work the first day in the evening when everyone got home from work. Because I played it during the day, and then I arranged to play with my mate about 7 o'clock or something last night, and it was all off. No chance. No go. No one could play. So I forgot about that. That was because I'd already played during the day online quite a bit.
Weren't as big deal. If you'd come home from work and you're like, right, I'm geared up to play Street Fighter for the first time, and it doesn't work, that's going to really piss you off, innit? But
he was fuming.
Yeah, he So excuse the ignorant question. This might be chalk and cheese when I say this, but can you compare it to Mortal Kombat X? And have you got an idea of which one you prefer at this stage?
Yeah.
I mean, they're different. I know they're different. People are probably going, not the same fighting type or whatever. But for me, from the outside, they are 2v2 fighters. They've got different tones and whatever, but the competition is still the same. The gameplay is obviously different.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer Street Fighter, but I wouldn't say it's better. But I prefer it. It is the number one. If you go to like these big, not like I ever do, but these big fighting things, Evo and even at the EGX. They didn't have it this year, but a couple of years ago there was loads of people all crowded around watching. They was all playing Street Fighter 4. It was about 6-7 years old. So Street Fighter is the big one, and I do like it. But no, they, like you say, they're still both, side sort of 2D side scrolling fighters. But yeah, this is number one, I think. This
is a daddy. So maybe a bit of a stuttering launch, with content wise. But do you see the future of Street Fighter being bright? It's getting relatively positive reception. The only thing people are complaining about is the content. People are saying the gameplay is there. It's there for all the fighting fans to get hold of. It's just lacking content. So do you see the future of Street Fighter 5 being positive? Because I've read that they're not going to do any of these Ultra HD bloody different versions. This is going to be one entry, and they're going to add to it. Yeah,
I've read a character a month, but I've not.
I'll read a book a week, so
exactly, yeah, science fiction and that.
Yeah,
but no, I've not really seen anything from an official source. It's all been a bunch of clowns in comics. I've heard about there's definitely new modes and one character in March. Crap character as well, in my opinion. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff. I think there'll be like I know you don't like IGN, but they do do like a re-review of things a lot.
Yeah, no, I mean that's not a bad way of doing things. I know that a couple of firms done that with Splatoon, and I think
that's right. They did that, and then it got a really high score.
Yeah,
and so will this. This without a doubt, this will be like a 9.5, I think.
Yeah.
In a year's time, I know that's not good enough, but I think it will be.
Yeah,
it's that good. Gameplay's that good.
Yeah, it is a tough one. I'm not bothered either way these days. It depends. If I was waiting for Street Fighter and I wanted it to be as good as 4 with all the content, and then it come out and it was light, I would be annoyed. Because I'm not that attached to it, it's difficult for me to put myself in your position and find that annoyance. I suppose if you're looking forward to something, then it is going to get up your nose.
Yeah, I think nostalgia does it as well. If you said to me, we're all getting this game, and I'd never played it, get it, it's brilliant, pre-order it and all that, and I did, and then I got it, and then I've read that all this stuff's missing, I'll be a bit pissed off.
Yeah.
Which is not fair, really, but with this, it's, I know it's going to be good. And there was just about enough, because my mate's got it, there's just about enough, we can just keep playing each other, and I don't play them too much by myself anyway, to be honest. It is a multiplayer game, isn't it?
Yeah, at the end of the day. You're saying that there's cross-play between PlayStation 4 and PC. How does that work? If I was on PlayStation, would you be able to find me? Or is it kind of like, it feels like in Rocket League, you're just chucked in a lobby and you can't even, I don't think you can set up a party between PC and PS4 players. Is that the same here? Or if I was on PS4, could we potentially set up a room?
Yes. What it is, you just search, you have like I'm not on it at the minute, but it's something like you've got your normal. So for me, it's Steam ID. Obviously, you wouldn't have that.
Yeah.
You can go on another option, which I think's called Fighter ID or something like that.
Right. Okay.
And that's one that you'll have no matter what you're on. So if you were on there, I could search for
for that.
Card. Yeah, it'd pick you up whether you was on PS4 or PC. So.
Is that kind of linked to Capcom? Is it like a Capcom account type thing? Or is it a Street Fighter 5?
Yeah, just a Street. I mean, I didn't sort of set anything up.
Right.
I think maybe when I first loaded it up, maybe it asked me to put in a username or something. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
So it was obviously pretty quick.
Yeah.
But so it's
possible.
Although it's not it hasn't massively worked well so far. But I think that's just a server thing.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be sorted now. I played tonight and it was fine. So yeah. So it should be good. And I've probably played with loads of PS4 people, but I don't even know. That's how good it is.
Yeah.
You can't even tell. When you create a room, I can pick PC only.
Right, I see. You can specify.
Do that. Yeah, but I don't really. I'm not sure why.
No, you just maybe Master Race only Championship. That's what will be installed. Yeah, I mean Street Fighter 5. It's it's on my actual what's the name fantasy draft pick. It's getting. I'm hoping there's a few reviews that go in later on this year and bump it up a little bit. It's on like mid 80s, which is good because the other twats have picked stuff that's not going to come out. So I'm going to get a points gap on that anyway. Yeah. But I'm actually thinking of picking this up later on once the story mode release because I'm not a big fan of multiplayer stuff, and I think it'll be. I used to love Street Fighter 2. I had it on the Mega Drive.
It's so playable now.
Exactly, that's what I was.
All them gens and the whatever it's called, the SNES one and all that. The you have on the computer.
Yeah.
But I've got this new thing, X-Padder, which is not new. It's really old, but you can map like controllers to the keyboard.
Yeah.
So I've done that, and I sat yesterday playing Street Fighter 2 on the Mega Drive. Yeah. Brilliant. With a because I did it with a stick. That made the stick out to be up, down, left, right, all that rubbish. And it's brilliant. Still holds up now. I just fancied it. Thought I'd give it a go. Really good.
Yeah, it's good to see how things have come along since 2 to 5, how it looks and how smooth it is now, and those type of things. It's got more complex. But yeah, I'm thinking of picking up Street Fighter 5 when that June. I think it's June. They said the story content was going to launch, so I'll have a look then. Because I'm not the biggest competitive guy, but I think playing through a little story with a few of the characters and maybe doing the odd game here and there, I could see myself enjoying that for a short period of time. And we'll see how that goes. It's Street Fighter 5, thumbs up. Definitely. There you go. Go out and get it. PC or PS4, whichever you fancy. No difference. Now, there's been a monumental moment that's happened in my life. I've managed to complete Fallout 4.
Yes.
So the review will be up on the YouTube channel and website. So head over to youtube.com/dimpdigital or dimpdigital.com. And you'll find it there within a couple of weeks. Don't know how I'm going to tackle the review because there's just so much to talk about. I'm going to have to just do a real brief one, I think. But before I get on to what I actually want to speak about, I was wanting to check in with you because you bought Fallout 4. Yep. You haven't got on with it as well as I did, like not played it very much at all. What's happened here? Because you loved 3, didn't you?
Yeah, 3. It's probably one of the last games I sat and actually... I say 100%, probably more like
as close as you can get on that game.
Yeah, did a lot for a long time. And 4 was pretty much the same, but I don't know. Just I've said to you, I think I'm struggling these days on these big open world games. I think it's probably brilliant. Well, I'm sure it is. I know it reviewed well and all that.
Yeah.
But it's on my list. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I'm just sort of leaning towards. Smaller games of the world, really, because I'm sitting playing Diablo 3 every night at the moment. Not exactly a small game, is it?
No.
It's different. It's very pick up and play. I think that's the...
Yeah, now, I found that... I mean, I had about a month break of Fallout 4 during, I think, over Christmas. I thought I'd give it a little rest. And when I came back, to pick it up for an hour was impossible. I had to sit there for a good 2.5 hours, 3 hours almost, that first time, to acclimatise myself to what I was doing, where I was, how it all worked again. But what I noticed is when I was playing it more regularly, say a couple of times a week, I could actually pick it up for an hour, do a quest and put it back down. It become one of those games where I found it easy to pick up because I was so familiar with what was going on in my surroundings. I could almost veg out to it, and that's not the type of game I'd ever associate with vegging out as Fallout 4. I always think you've got to be engaged, but this one allowed me that opportunity to just sit there and go a couple of hours before I go to bed or whatever, chill, turn it off, and it's done. And which was strange, but I think it's because I spent so much time in it. 3 days and 8 hours I think I clocked up in the end. And I still haven't done all the side quests. There's still a handful of those to go. But it was still... it's a strange thing because I love Fallout 3. I'm not going to do the review now, but Fallout 4 is good and it's better in many ways. Like, there's so many different small changes that they've made to make the game better, but I just don't think you can capture that magic of playing Fallout 3 for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, when you're exploring the wasteland for the first time. When you've done it already, when you've already spent 150 hours in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, and you spend another 80 in Fallout 4, doesn't matter what you do with it, it's still going to seem familiar. Yeah. I think that's the problem. It's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, but if you've spent enough time in that world, it's a struggle sometimes to get motivated to play it, which I think has happened with a lot of people. Because even Biff sort of stopped playing it, and he will not say a bad word about Fallout 3 throughout his entire life. He's never once slagged it off. But for Fallout 4, he's had to have a break and stop, and he's struggling to go back to it.
Yeah,
it's a funny old game with having too much content sometimes, just moaning about none of it.
Everyone's thinking it though, isn't it? Yeah. Why is that? Why is it that no one has? I've not spoken. Well, you've done it.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Adkins has binned it. Adkins has been. Yeah, he's binned it. He bins a lot of things, but notorious for that.
My mate at work did a lot. Well, he was 40 hours in a while back, but I'm pretty sure he binned it. Yeah. That's a long way to go to bin it. But I've done about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
You didn't even get into it then. You couldn't.
Nah. I'm still walking around the first area.
You at the vault yet?
Yeah, just about.
just about at the vault. Yeah, it's a strange one. It is an odd one. I think if you're a first-time player, was he a first-time player of it? Had he played 3 or New Vegas?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think if you're a first-time player, you'll have that same magic because you won't have experienced something like this before, or maybe you have in another game. Maybe that kind of. Skyrim's probably done that for a lot of people. The ones that didn't pick up Fallout 4, or Fallout 3 rather, were a lot of them probably got Skyrim, and it's made by Bethesda. It's in that same style where it's big, epic RPG action game.
Yeah.
And I think that might have taken the stuffing out of people. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's a good game in its own right. It's just one of those weird things where a lot of people are just dropping it, which is a shame. But the reason why I wanted to bring up Fallout 4, really, other than to show off and say, oh look, I've done it, is that Bethesda have got me thinking. They've kind of maybe but I'm thinking of doing a new feature. Now, hopefully this feature will not happen every week on the podcast, otherwise the video game industry would be appalling. So I've made a little jingle to try and sort of display what the feature is going to be called. So let's just try this. It might go completely wrong.
Crooks of the Week.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, I got it, yeah.
What did it say, Dave?
Is it Tricks of the Week?
No, absolutely not. Let's try it again. It's live, so it's not, but...
Yeah.
Crooks of the Week.
It's like Trips of the Week.
Trips of the Week. Let's try a different voice. This is Logan's fault. He said he'd do me a jingle and he's let me down again. So if anyone's listening, Logan does not fulfil any of his promises. That's worse. That is appalling. Yeah. Voice change with effects is on Android. It's not doing me any favours. Cave, this should be alright.
Crooks of the Week.
Tricks of the Week.
No,
absolutely. The first time.
Nah, it's not. Let's try telephone.
Is it of the week?
Tricks of the Week.
Nah, it's of the week.
Tricks of the Week.
No, not tricks. It is. It's very close. Obviously rhymes. Giant. Let's see what he can offer.
Crooks of the Week.
Nah, it's worse.
That was worse. Was it Grand Canyon? Come on.
End of the week.
Crooks of the Week. Crooks of the Week.
Fuck me, that's worse. That is even worse. Dark Side.
Crooks of the Week.
Nah, it still sounds like Tricks.
Begins with a C. I can't think. Villain. This last chance, and they've got to carry on because people are getting bored already.
Crooks of the Week.
Fuck me, that's awful, wasn't it? That is the worst. That was it. I have to commit. I don't think do anymore. Crooks of the Week. Crooks. Yeah. Essentially me and the bad guys.
Yeah.
So again, I don't want this to be a weekly feature because if it is, then there's a lot of crooking going on in the game industry, which there is actually. We know this is people putting your pants down left, right, and centre. But you don't know what I'm talking about here. But it's to do with Fallout 4. Now, Fallout 4, when it was first announced, you pay your £40, £50, whatever you paid, or maybe you paid it cheaper on PC, I'd imagine. And
not much, but yeah.
Yeah, to accompany that, there was an offer of a season pass, which is common now. We see a lot of games that have this. Battlefront had a season pass, There's all sorts. Fucking Call of Duty, they've all got it. Batman, season pass, it's all there. And the season pass was £24.99, which is about, give or take, let's say the RRP of the game is £50. That's half price. That's half price of the game, £24.99. So my view is I don't mind a season pass as long as it's not going to strip it away from the main game, and you can't say it has in Fallout 4 because there's hundreds of hours of content in there, so they've not taken anything away from it. You wouldn't have thought if they have, they've done everyone a favour, because I would never have finished it if they kept all this crap in. Yeah. But they've done an announcement essentially saying there's 3 pieces of DLC announced. One is like a robot type quest where you can go off and defeat a robot man that's releasing, and it sounds shit, I'm doing a poor job of it, but you can then create your own robot companion at the end of it. Next one is you can create some cages and capture like live creatures like the death claws or humans, and then pit them against each other in your own sort of blood sport type thing. That sounds quite interesting. Not the best one though is one called Far Hard, which is the one that you probably heard about, which is a new quest line for the Valentine's Detective Agency, and that's going to take you off onto a new location. So you're going to get a new segment of the map to go off to. All this is out, in May 2016. So all 3 of those, I think from March onwards, they're releasing 1 piece of those each. So not all quest related, but there's a couple of quest bits and one kind of like comedy bit of the Bloodsport thing. As I said, season pass was £24.99. What the cheeky bastards at Bethesda have done though is they've announced they're going to raise the price of the season pass to £39.99 from March the 1st onwards. Their rationale is that they are planning to release more content than originally planned, which justifies the price hike. That's a £15 increase. You've got just over a week to go and buy it at the old price before it goes up. I've seen this happen before with Dying Light and The Following. What do you make of all this? Is it fair to label them our crooks of the week?
Yes, it is, definitely.
Crooks?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I don't like the season pass thing.
No.
I think it's pants. But if you've committed, so you've spent the $24.99 then, right at the start.
Yeah.
And then I've waited, and then this comes up now. I can buy it for this, but then next week's going up.
Yeah.
Then that's what was the point of you buying it ages ago for $24.99? Everyone might as well just wait.
Well, yeah.
If they do, I'm not saying it's right, but I can see why they've done it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like it. But the only way to stop it is for people like yourself not to buy it at the start for $24.99. It's a lot of money. Yeah. I know it's different, and this isn't about what you pay for the games. But when I said I paid about the same, because I spent £30 on it. For the PC. So I'm thinking on the console it'd have been about 40. I'd get most of my games off Amazon for console, but that's a lot of money. Yeah. That's a scandal. I'm reading $39.99 here then, so that's obviously the full price, isn't it?
Yeah. So what they're going to do is if you don't purchase before the 1st of March, it'll be $39.99. So it's kind of like pay now or forever pay more.
Yeah. So we've called it naughty that. I know they do it. Well, sorry, to say Battlefront then, like you just said.
Yeah.
So that Yeah. So
just from day one.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but if it was, then does it just always stay that price?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a new thing then, basically with this. I'm not too up to date, like I say, 'cause I've never bought any season pass stuff. I have bought DLC.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it with what was it? It was Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
Where
map packs
so you had the season pass straight away. So if you got it all, bought all their map packs, then you saved some dough.
Yeah.
But I spent a bit more on one map pack, but then I got bored of the game. So really, I still saved loads of money because I could have them all. Although they were a bit cheaper individually, I stopped playing the game. So waste. But so this thing,
tough, innit?
I don't like it, but I can see why they've done it.
Yeah, I mean you can buy each of those 3 pieces I mentioned separately. So if you don't want to buy the whole lot, you can do that. Now, obviously, there's a slight financial penalty if you end up buying all 3 of them. Yeah. It'll add up to more. I think it'll add. Actually, I can't confirm that. But if you bought everything they offer individually, it's going to end up more. It's the way it works at the end of the day. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they're saying that they're going to hike it up by £15 because they're going to do more content than they originally planned. But there's no way of us knowing that, is there?
Bollocks anyway. I wouldn't accept that. That's bollocks.
No, that is nonsense. It's a tough one. I mean, I do not like the idea of them going back on their original price scheme. That definitely seems a bit hooky to me.
Yeah.
How do we go on?
Sorry, if you say you and whoever both got the game the same day. Went home.
Yeah.
He was like, right, I love this game. I'm getting a season pass. And he was like, no, fuck off. It's, you know, 25 quid is too much. And then you both got it. You both smashed it 80 hours. Absolutely loved it. You've got to get the new stuff now. But then he has to pay more. But because you'd got it at the start and paid less, would you sort of be like, have a smirk on your face?
Absolutely not, because it's a gamble. Because that could be shit, that stuff. Like, you don't... And even those free bits, you know, that's probably just enough for $24.99, I'd say. I quite like the sound of those free bits. But for 40, absolutely no chance. And with the promise that they're going to add more that they weren't planning to do, I just kind of think they need to be a little bit more transparent initially. If they're going to just come in at 40... Don't actually, because then you have to pay it. But I don't know. It all seems a bit hooked. I don't like the idea of it going up.
The trouble is, though, as well, I think we shouldn't really comment because we don't know the content.
No. Until it's out, we're not going to know. But the trouble is, in the day it's out, and if it is really good, it's £40 already. The price has already gone up, so you're going to have to take a bit of a gamble, whatever way you look at it. I mean, I'll be honest, I'll probably end up buying it. My rule on season pass and DLC, there's no difference to me between a season pass and a bulk of DLC expansions. But my rule is, once I know what I'm getting, then I can take a look at it and go, okay, that sounds like it's worth it. I liked the game. I want to put more hours into it. Those bits will make the experience better and I'm going to enjoy it. If they don't tell me what it is, like they often do with Battlefront up until recently, when that game released, they're saying, yeah, you can buy the season pass now, and there's people going up buying it at that point. I can't justify that because you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what they're going to do with it. So at least they've kind of given you some sort of bait on there, but
it's I think a good example for me anyway. Going back to Nintendo.
Yeah.
The only, apart from that Battlefield one, I think the only DLC I've really bought is the Mario Kart stuff.
Yeah.
So, but when that was coming out, they said, right, buy it now. It's going to, so similar to this. I can't remember the exact prices, but just so rough, it was right, buy it now.
Sure.
For $7.99.
Yeah.
You're going to get 8 tracks and some characters. I don't care about the characters. So you get 8 tracks, some characters, or you can buy it for, $15.99. This is, I'm guessing, the prices.
Yeah.
Later. So basically, get it now and it's cheaper, similar to this.
Yeah.
But I knew I was getting 8 tracks and I knew that $7.99 was well worth it for them tracks, so I didn't care. I was like, take my money now. And then when it came, it was really good.
Yeah.
So that for me was fine, and I thought it was good value.
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it?
This could be good value, so you could pay this £25 now and go, well, what was we talking about last year? This is brilliant.
Yeah, because what they're saying is this is not the only stuff they're going to add to the season pass. There's going to be unknown stuff as well. So you're going to get these free bits guaranteed, plus other bits they decide to do all for that price. You don't know. It is a bit of a gamble, but you have to just look at those free bits and go, is that worth £25? Probably just about, in my opinion, but obviously it's in every individual's. And the thing that kind of makes me sway towards it is that Bethesda haven't let me down before. I remember I didn't actually... I had Fallout 3, finished the main campaign, 55 hours or whatever it was I spent. Then a year later they released the DLC on a disc, and stupidly it wasn't a one-time usage disc. So what I did is I had a Love Film account, went on there, rented the DLC, it downloaded it onto your computer, onto your Fallout 3 save, sent the disc back, and I had it all for free. So loophole there. Don't do that anymore because someone went, oi, stop doing that. Yeah. But the DLC for that was good, is the point I was trying to get at. It was good quests. There was 4 separate ones, new locations. I liked it. So they're not in the game of putting out shit usually, but you don't know. I might just commit to it so I can moan about it, and rather than sit there and not, because I'm going to play it more anyway. It's going to add those bits to it, and then at least I've got a valid opinion on what's going on.
You've answered your question when you said you're going to play it anyway.
Yeah.
Because I bet the only people who are complaining about that are the people who have not sat and played it for 80 hours. Yeah. And they're the ones they're never going to get it anyway, no matter what it costs.
No, it doesn't matter to them, does it?
I'd be surprised if someone sat and done 80 hours, didn't really enjoy it much, and then he was going, I'm not getting that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
No, you spent that much time, you're going to have liked it to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Still not up. Whatever happens, I'm not happy with this price hike and this, you've got till this date to get it cheaper. That's a bit naughty. I don't like the idea of that, regardless of whether it's genuine. Like they are genuinely thinking about doing a lot more of the season pass than they're originally doing. Just don't do it. I'd rather they just said $24.99, you get this, and then there's going to be another add-on, whatever, and then people know where they stand. But sort of hiking it halfway through. I'm not a fan of. Like I said, Dying Light did that of the following DLC. They got 3/4 of the way through that and then went, yeah, it's going to be another £15 if you want to buy it after this date. I just think, come on, sort yourselves out. You're massive firms here, business, probably get more money from it. Some people try to compare it to Destiny, and I don't agree with that, to be honest, because when you slap your 30, your 40, your £50 down for Fallout 4 on its own, the game stands on its own 2 feet. There's enough there in the disc. You don't need this shit. If you absolutely do not need the season pass to get the most out of Fallout 4. Or something like Destiny, you needed those expansions after a few months. Because it just had no content there.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is a shame.
Yeah,
which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, still, Bethesda, your crooks of the week because you're bloody raising the prices halfway through and telling people they've got a date to get it by. Although you've got me because I'm going to do it anyway. Quantum Break PC release. Now, we spoke about this last week with Mr. Adkins. He was a bit hungover, so he was a little bit sloppy. And he'll admit that. He was a few too many IPAs, I think, down the Alex. But it's coming to Xbox One. We knew that. And it's coming to Windows 10 as well. You're predominantly a PC gamer now. You like your PC and your computer. Exclusive for the consoles. This probably might have been an Xbox One purchase for you at one point during your life, but now does this Windows only negate the issue? Or the fact that it's not on Steam, does that kind of give you second thoughts? Because that has annoyed a lot of people that it's not going to be on Steam.
Yeah, not being on Steam is annoying. We spoke about achievements, didn't we? Was it a couple of weeks back saying that they're shit on everything, really?
Yeah.
I used to think they were good on 360, but for some reason it doesn't go for me on the one, and the Steam and PlayStation are pants as well, really. It seems anyway. But I have recently been getting into them a little bit more on Steam.
Right.
So that's a shame, I think, that they're doing a Windows Store thing, because no one cares about Windows Store. But the trouble is, they want to build it up. They've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, and this is the only way to get people to do it, is offering games where you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, but I mean, what you're going to have, go to the bottom of your PC, you're going to have Origin, you're going to have Steam.
Yeah.
I've got GOG Galaxy, then I'm going to have Windows Store as well.
Yeah.
Like, how many do we need? So someone comes around and says, I can play this, you're going to be going through them all to find out.
What fucking library it's on.
Yeah, you don't need that. The whole reason I like the PC is because it's so simple, everything's in Steam, it's just happy days.
Yeah, that is a bit of a shame.
So
Have you got anything on Windows Store? Or have you got nothing in there? Have you even got it?
I'm pretty sure I've got absolutely nothing. I think I had Dirt 3 on there a couple of years back, and that got moved to Steam.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll happen.
Yeah, because you can add a non-Steam game to your library and kind of pretend you're playing it through Steam, I guess.
Yeah, but it's really that's pretty. You don't get the achievements and everything. That's just so you can still chat to people and things like that if you want to.
Yeah. Does it log your hours when you do that or not?
No.
That is a killer.
Shame, isn't it?
That is a damn shame. But was you even interested in Quantum Break anyway? Because it's a new IP. We don't get them that often these days.
No, I wasn't the day one for me, but I was interested. If it got really good reviews, I'm sure I'd have gave it a go. Being an exclusive.
Yeah.
But I remember it from the what's it called? Like when they first did their conferences. The new ones, and I thought, it does actually look really good.
Yeah.
Graphically, I mean, which is not reason enough to get it, but it did look impressive. Yeah.
Was you a fan of Alan Wake when that came out back in the day?
Yeah, really good game. Do you not think
Max
really
Payne
scary?
even?
Was it just me? Playing that.
Yeah, I mean, it was unsettling. There were certainly moments, and it was that kind of like Stephen King shit horror kind of genre. So I mean, I could see like Loading wouldn't play it. But that's the way I kind of
game. I liked it because it made me like that, which not many games do really. The ones that do are normally crap.
Just jump
scares.
Jumps
out, and I'm just like, I'm not really.
Like PT that time.
Yeah, it's a good time. That was. I wasn't scared of that, was I?
got a bloody video sitting here. It'll go up on the channel one day. But yeah, I know what you mean. That was rather than it being cheap with jump scares. That was just unsettling constantly, which just has a far more, I find, deeper effect on your psyche, because you if you with a jump scare you're over it in about half a second, aren't you? Like, fucking hell, bastards. Whereas something like that can stick with you even if you turned it off. You're like, oh, that was a bit freaky. That I'm not sure of that. Quantum Break's not going to be that though. That looks like a action game, and Remedy have also done Max Payne as well, so they've got good pedigree, these guys, and I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, I'm going to get it on the Xbox One. There's fanboys going, what are you doing? Phil, you're a cunt. You fucking let us down. It's like, well, just let other people play. It ain't affecting you, is it? It isn't affecting them. That is the one thing. One guy said, I've cancelled my pre-order because it's on Windows, and then Phil Spencer goes back and says, so let me get this straight, you've cancelled a pre-order of a game you wanted because more people can play it.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
There's your racist.
Yeah.
That's what you
Well
get.
done.
Let's wrap this particular segment up with the upcoming releases for the week that we are now in. It's Sunday. You've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's stuff coming out. I've picked out a few highlights, or what I think are highlights, and there's a lot coming out. There's a lot of 3DS stuff that I don't tend to look at, so maybe I'll do a rundown in future weeks, but I couldn't be arsed this week, to be honest, as a sort of a newest feature.
No one cares apart from me, do they?
No, that is the problem. This falls on deaf ears, so maybe I'll do this bit of music on my own.
Once you start getting this pod out in Japan...
Yeah, it's going to be needed.
Get it in there, yeah.
You need to just get it translated.
Mm.
I know someone who speaks Japanese, so could be possible one day. Tuesday the 23rd, Far Cry Primal and The Walking Dead Michonne. We spoke last week. Michonne is going to be a 3-part Telltale series, and we know what Far Cry Primal is. Either of those take your fancy? I mean, you said you like sort of smaller games, so maybe The Walking Dead Michonne, that's going to be a couple of hours an episode spread out over 3 months. Could that possibly, tempt you?
Well, I still haven't done Borderlands. I want to do that one next.
Oh, Tales from the Borderlands, yeah.
I was going to do
excellent.
it. It just the particular shift I was on at work, I was sitting around a lot, and I was able, and I finished it all in a week. And I loved it, The Wolf Among Us, so I thought, right, I'll
Get
do
on
it
a few
again
of
next
these.
week, but I've not really been on my tablet. But no, yeah, I was impressed after I played that. After I said to you that I didn't really think it was a game, you weren't very impressed, were you?
Well, they are games. they are all games. They're different types of games.
Sure, yeah.
That's what I'll say.
But it interests me, but not massively. I'd like to play all of them, to be honest. All the ones that are, apart from the one you said was shit, the Game of Thrones one.
Yeah, that wasn't very good. I mean, you said you played that on tablet, did you say, Wolf Among Us?
Oh no, sorry, I bought a Windows tablet thing like Surface.
Yeah.
It comes with a keyboard, so it's kind of a laptop basically. Yeah.
But you can get these on mobile devices. That's the thing about the Telltale games. They do eventually drop, and it is a convenient way to play these, providing you've got it on a tablet. And I can't see doing that on a phone being acceptable, but a tablet certainly.
Well, I played a demo on the phone.
Yeah.
Wolf Among Us, and then thought it was quite good, and then bought it on the Steam. So it does work.
Yeah. I think it's certainly a good way to play it. Yeah, so I'll probably pick that up. I need to get through Minecraft Story Modes episode 2 to 4 now. I've done 1, put it on the back burner, expecting the announcement for 5 to come out. Hasn't come yet. Don't know what they're playing at. Now looking at Far Cry Primal, I can see you skipping that one over because it's going to be another open world time zapper, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is, I am getting sick of them a little bit. I will admit that. It's nice to have a nice brisk 12-hour game and finish it, and it's wrapped up, and you ain't got to spend time bollocking about.
Yeah. My next thing will be Rise of Tomb Raider. Still haven't got it.
Yeah,
my mate's
absolutely.
Finished it already.
Yeah.
So that'll be my next one of them, which is perfect for what you just said. I think I'm guessing it's about 12-hour.
12, yeah.
Get it done because I won't mess around with all the side stuff. But but Far Cry will be good like they always are. But no, I played 1 and loved it on PC years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't like 2, and I haven't gone near them since.
Yeah, 3 and 4. I mean, I've seen 3 got a lot of good reviews. I've got 4. 4 was okay, but it's just that same thing. Bloody towers, going up to radio posts and opening the map up. I was like, Jesus, Ubisoft, come on. Can you try something different, please? I think I'm going to skip that maybe later on down the year if I get a gap. But I know it's not. I can't dust it off in 2 weeks. That's going to be
it
longer.
looks really good.
Yeah,
I like the idea of it, but then I thought 4 looked really good.
Yeah,
and it probably was. But I just
it's not
my cup of tea basically.
No, drop that. Thursday the 25th, Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2. I think this is one of Hall's fantasy draft picks, so it'll be interesting to see what reviews that get. Is that I know I played a tiny bit of Plants vs Zombies. In fact, I think I got it for free on PlayStation Plus, or it was just a promotion that was on, but I haven't really played it that much. Hall and Logan, have they liked it? Is that of any interest to you? I mean, I could see you enjoying that for some reason. I don't know why, because it's kind of like not a Splatoon type multiplayer, but it's not like a heavily focused shooter. It's a bit different. It's online. It's competitive. It's got those edges that you like.
If I could get one other person to get it, who I will play with once a week, then I would definitely buy it. I'd probably wait. I probably wouldn't pay full whack for it.
No.
But I'd like to play that. I had a little go of the first one. It's quite good. I don't know what on Xbox One maybe.
Yeah.
Thought it was pretty good. Yeah, and I love the original game. You know, thought it was brilliant.
Tower defense. Yeah, I had that. That is a great game. And this is a decent adaptation of it, and you can see why probably a lot of kids are like that. If they play it on the phone, they're like, "Oh, this is like a new." It's quite kid friendly. That it didn't seem overly complex. It wasn't violent or anything like that. It was. It fitted in that kind of market of Splatoon, where a kid can pick up and play it, and so can an adult. You know, there's no harm of either of them. Hits a decent market, so we'll see how those particular ones pan out. But I think that'll do, Dave. I think I'll let you go for this evening and get on with your life. And we will speak again soon. But thanks for joining me on this segment of the Dimp Digital podcast.
No worries. Cheers, Joe.
Welcome to the Order 1886. Let's talk. You've got Apps and Tom Adkins from the Dimp Digital team. And Tom, you're here to talk about your recent playthrough of the Order 1886. Now, I played this last year, borrowed it off Biff, put the review up, bin it rating. And this game got a very, very, I would say, poor reviews and mixed. I mean, there was a couple of 7s, but a lot of the scores were down in the 4s and 5s and 6s. It weren't very good, was it, when it was first released? It got a lot of flack.
A lot of flack it got, yeah.
And do you think, having played through the game on a whole, before we dive into the details, were those sort of scores justified?
No, it's a tough question.
Yeah.
See, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Like I say, cards on the table here. I played it a year after it was released. I just looked. It's released on the 20th of February 2015. So we're almost there.
Yeah.
Nearly a year. I paid £11.50 for it.
Yeah.
So I didn't pay £40. So that in itself has helped my decision.
Yeah.
But scores, people giving it sort of scores in the 4s and 5s. I think that's a bit
harsh, isn't it?
For it. Yeah. But it has its faults. It definitely has its faults. But I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, and I'll sort of go around the sort of 6 mark.
So you'd give it a 6 over 10 if you were pushed to give it that. I mean, what was it in particular that you kind of had the flaws? You'd say the main flaws of it. I mean, I found personally, it's just so. The word linear doesn't describe how linear this game is. It is just, you're almost on a rail sometimes.
That's right. Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah. Its biggest flaw is 1,000,000% is pacing.
Yeah.
That is the worst pacing of a video game I've ever been through. So 1 minute you start off and, like you say, you're on rails, like watching cutscenes.
Yeah.
Then you get the seamless transfer. You think, oh, this is good, into a bit of gameplay.
Yeah.
And you're like walking for about a minute, and then
you can't run either. You have to walk at the pace set. That is the most frustrating thing in the world. You think, I want to get through this corridor. Nope, he's going to put the brakes on me.
That's it. And the way the story goes, it sort of builds you up for these epic moments, these big cutscenes, and the story's sort of progressing. You're thinking, yes, get me in.
Yeah.
And then nope. Another cutscene and a bit more walking, and it just keeps pulling you away from the story, and it's just terrible pacing the way they've done it.
What did you think of the gunplay? Because it's pretty simplistic, kind of third-person cover based, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it's taken a lot of inspiration from games like Gears of War.
Yeah.
With the little cover and shoot thing, and I thought it was okay. It done all right. Obviously,
passable.
Yeah, passable. But nothing. I mean, I watched a review after playing the game, and you said about how the weapons don't feel like they have much of an impact.
Yeah,
and I can totally agree with that. Yeah, it really doesn't. But like you say, it's passable, but it's been done, and it's been done better.
Yeah, that is very true. I mean, one of the big plus points. I mean, this was shown off as a graphical marvel. Now you're an experienced PC Master Race man.
Yeah.
I mean, for you, was it as good as what people were saying, or was it just good for what you'd expect out of a console?
I've got to say, I was very impressed with the graphics.
Okay.
I thought that was its best. It did have that cinematic feel. Then pissing black bars.
Oh God,
right off.
Then you know why that is? It's because that is not running at even 30 frames per second if those bars are not there. Sorry, that is to cut and give them performance, because I think they went. We've made this too much for it, and it's going to really sting it if we take them away.
They really, especially for a sort of cover-based shooter game.
Yeah, you need to see.
I couldn't see enemies above me because they had these pissing black lines in the way.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so annoying. A game like a cinematic game like Until Dawn, they ain't got the black bars. They don't get in the way.
No. It's a strange decision from the guys. Coming on back onto the story, I mean, you said it had problems with its pacing. Did you like the concept of where it was setting, like the setting of obviously an alternate history London and whatnot?
Yeah, I tried to shut out all of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. That came after, didn't it? But it's, again, back in the day in Victorian London, so I shut that out of my mind.
Cool, blimey.
And I thought, I really do like the concept of this Victorian London that's moved forward with technology, with guns. I like the inclusion of popular figures, like Tesla.
Yeah.
And they make reference to sort of Jack the Ripper.
Sure.
I thought that was quite a good inclusion.
Yeah.
But I was a big fan of the story of it was like supposed to be like a different take on the Knights of the Round Table, essentially.
Yeah.
I did like the story. Yeah, I thought it was executed okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those games that is so linear and the story is so throwaway that it didn't hook you by the Goonies.
No, you're not going to be. You didn't really like. Even the cutscenes look beautiful, but you thought, am I really interested in what they're saying here?
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, there's a few interesting characters. I quite like the relationship between is it Izzy, the girl, and the main protagonist. Sir Galahad.
See, it's forgettable, isn't it, though? I mean, we're struggling there to pull out his name, and you've only played it last week, or a few days ago.
A few days ago I finished it, platinumed it as well.
Difficult platinum?
No, it's one of the easiest, actually. That's another big gripe of it, like the collectibles in it. That's a massive gripe of this game as well. Is if you're paying full price for this, there is not a single bit of replayability in this game at all.
No.
Apart from the collectibles, which are done awfully as well. Like there's not even like a sort of a counter as to how many you've got. So if you miss one on the level and that, at the end you're like, oh, which one did I miss?
Yeah.
You've got no reason to go back and play them. It's terrible. But
tough one. What did you think of the game's length? That was another one. Before it even come out, there were previews saying, "Oh, someone's finished it in 3 hours. Someone's done this. Someone's done that." It was brisk, but But
I think it was good enough for what it was. I think if it was any longer,
you're getting pissed off, aren't you? You're bored of that.
That's it. I literally to get the collectibles. I had to search every little nook and cranny on every level, so I made sure I checked everywhere before I moved on. And I think it took me just about 8.5 hours. I think it took, which I thought for what it was, of how sort of how linear it is. That's a perfect length. If that went on for about 15-20 hours, you would have been grinding your head, going, "Oh, mate, what's this?"
Yeah, that is a good point. That was one of the things I raised in my reviews, that people complain how short it was, but that was the perfect length, and much longer, and you're going to get even more pissed off of it.
Right. And I think the other end of the spectrum, I think the people saying that it's like 5 hours long, to do that, you've got to be playing on easy, steaming straight through, and just missing everything. It's like you could probably do it in about 7.5, something like that. But but that is if you're steaming through.
Yeah. So, a couple of years on, do you think would you want the Order 1888, for example, a sequel, or are you done with this? You think this is dealt with? They can just trash that.
I'd like to see him have another go, just because it got so slated. I feel sorry for him a little way, because they're in the studio. Is it
Ready at Dawn? Yeah.
They normally do some good games, but I think they have got the sort of the grander story there for a franchise that they could build, but they do have to make some vast improvements. Obviously, again, massively to the pacing. The story needs to be more tangible, doing people actually give a crap about it. Set pieces would be good.
It didn't have those, did it? That was disappointing.
The good bits I did like was with the half breeds, or whatever they're called.
The lichen.
That's it, that was a cool inclusion, but when it actually kicks into gameplay, they're so easy to kill. They just run at you and you press X. That's it.
You just dodge them, don't you, and then shoot them.
Exactly. I just thought, this is like too easy. With all this build-up, you think, bloody hell, oh no, the lichens are coming.
I think they're going to be difficult. They're not. I got a feeling this should have been, to me, it felt like a launch game, and I said it tons of times. This felt like a game that, when the PlayStation would drop, this should have been part of it. Light on gameplay, light on the story and the fluffy stuff, but a visual marvel, so people could look at the adverts and go, cool, is that what the PlayStation 4 can do? I'll go and get one of them. But the fact that it come out in February 2015, it was just too late. By then, there was games that had already surpassed it, and games that come out in 2015 that absolutely mopped the floor with it, and it just seems it was irrelevant before it even come out almost.
Yeah, it's true. It's taken a bit of old Duke Nukem Forever fever.
Yeah.
I think Bob on this.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, maybe. I mean, you didn't get the greatest reviews, and I'm not hopeful we'll get a sequel. I would like this setting to be explored again. I quite like the alternate history type things, but maybe they won't do it. Maybe they will and bin off.
Cutthroat business, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And we'll have to see what happens. But thanks for joining me, Tom. As always, it's been a pleasure. So that about wraps up the Dimp Digital podcast for this week. If you're wondering what that last segment was, obviously I didn't give it an intro, I just transitioned straight out of Dave Salmon into that. It's actually a recording that me and Tom Adkins did on the Order 1886. It's due to go on the YouTube channel with background video and the usual bells and whistles, but I've promised that we was going to start giving you guys some of that content, and that has not even been released on the YouTube channel. So that is an exclusive to the podcast, exclusive content, and it'll be going up in the next couple of weeks. But it just so happened that the 20th of February, which was obviously the Friday just gone, was the 1 year anniversary for the Order 1886, so I just thought I'll stick that in there. It kind of makes sense, and you guys can get a feeling of how Mr. Adkins had when he played that game. I wasn't particularly fond of it, but it does have some redeeming factors in there, and it certainly got whirled up in the media when that press release or that article come out that it can be done in 5 hours, and since then no one was ever going to give that a half decent score, which is a bit of a shame, me included. It wasn't really good enough, but there were some parts in it, and obviously you heard at the end there, Mr. Adkins would like them to have another crack at it. So maybe we will see a sequel. We'll have to see, but we'll wrap this podcast up, and we'll do the usual. So if you need to get in contact with us, you can do on Twitter. It is at Dimp Digital. Follow us on there. Get in contact. Interact with us. We do actually like talking to you people. If you are listening, get in contact and let us know your thoughts on the podcast. Or you can go over to facebook.com/Dimp Digital, and that'll get you to our Facebook page. You can post on there. You can post whatever you like, news articles, stuff you want us to discuss. You got a lot more than 160 characters there, so if you want to send us an essay, you can do it there. If you fancy emailing us, it is dimpdigitalmedia@gmail.com. You can find that on any good web outlet, any email outlet will let you do that particular piece. Website, obviously I mentioned earlier, dimpdigital.com. Head over there. People are blogging, there's news articles coming up, we're posting all our videos on there as well. That will be the one-stop shop for everything we do, podcasts, videos, the lot. YouTube channel /Dimp Digital, that's not the right address, it's youtube.com/Dimp Digital if you're just interested in the video stuff, but I advise you head over to dimpdigital.com and get that. If you're not subscribed to this podcast and you've somehow listened for this long, subscribe. And if you've got an Android device, use Player FM. Great app. We're one of the featured podcasts on there, so make sure you use that if you're on Android. iTunes, obviously, you can set yourself up on the podcast app or the iTunes app. Windows, as I've said before, change your bloody phone. We're on there somewhere, but I can't tell you what app it is. We're definitely on there, though, so just try and find it. That's it for now, though. It's game over. I guess it's just goodbye from myself, Apps. Thanks very much for your time, and ta-da. You guys, thanks very much for listening, and we'll speak again soon. Thanks for your time, and ta-da. Blowing the ending.
Not a single subscribe.
Not a single. No, I've been that off now. I was thinking, oh, fuck them. They know what to do. They've got Piper's fucking ending thing that goes on for 50 seconds going, subscribe, for music.
Okay. Did he do that, did he?
Yeah. Too fucking long. I've told him to tell him off, but... Yeah, actually, one of the things I saw was like if you get Quantum Break, you get the Alan Wake back compatibility.
Oh, really?
Free. You know what they did with Fallout?
Oh, yeah.
Similar to that.
Oh, of course. Oh, wow.
I probably wouldn't go back and play it though. So.
Nah, I've still got the. They did like a little. God, brain's dead.
Dead end brains.
Right. What the fuck is that game called? Oh, the American.
Get to the chopper!